I mean, I don't know what you could call it. The official re-debut of Giovanni Vinci on SmackDown. I am very excited. I might be the only one that is actually excited. Because I think that the vignettes were really great, and I'm just happy that it's finally happening, because I've been sitting here complaining about how they did nothing with him after they booted him from Imperium and had Kaiser beat him up and then drafted him to SmackDown. So it's been months, and that was starting to worry me, because I'm like, all
You were
right,
worried.
they're not going to do anything with him. And it's unfortunate, because we talk a lot about tag teams and how people convince themselves that every tag team has a Genetti, and so people were trying to act like Giovanni Vinci was somehow the Genetti in Imperium, and that's not the case. But it looked like that's how WWE viewed him, because they weren't doing anything with him. So when this vignette popped up, I was like, thank God, finally. And I'm really interested to see what they do with him, and like what his debut is going to be. Is it going to be like a squash kind of? Like that's how they do that sometimes, when they bring someone out
Wouldn't
in a
you love a
heel.
squash?
Oh my God, can you imagine a squash? I would be like, oh my God, that's my man, Gio. Hello. Getting a.
Giovanni Vinci getting a squash match on SmackDown. What nonsense were we living in?
I'm
Sarah's
all.
just like,
I'm so excited, but I'm also bummed because Wade isn't there. So we're not gonna get the, like, if he does the point thing, we're not gonna get
oh, we
Wade
need
doing
the
it.
point. We need the point though. I was gonna ask, like, how much of an upgrade do you see this being from what we saw in NXT 2.0 with that gimmick? Because that was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed what I saw with it, and I'm very happy that you introduced me to that because I went down a little rabbit hole myself. And the dude can cook on the mic. He's not bad, and you can tell immediately he was just not given the proper spotlight on the main roster. So, like, I want to see that. He's very quick witted. And this, the crazy thing, too, that people don't understand is that he's not only fast and hard hitting in the ring with what we saw with the kind of missile, it was like a Pitts missile coming at you, but he's a high flyer,
I know.
Sarah. I know
I
you
know.
know that, but like, I didn't know that. You wouldn't expect that.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm hoping that we're gonna actually be able to see it, because we know also how they generally want heels to look, as they want the babyface to look better in the match. So like the heel isn't allowed to always do like the best things that they have in their repertoire, but because they're bringing him back, having him re-debut, and like want him to, I would assume, to look good, to look impressive, whatever, I'm thinking that we're probably going to see a lot of stuff that we haven't seen from Vinci since he got on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping that they treat him right, because I'm not saying he's going to be like the next LA Knight, or, you know, he's not going to be
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes and become the face of the company, but he's more than capable of being like the Ludwig Kaiser equivalent on SmackDown, as long as they go about things the right way. And so I'm really trying to be optimistic in that regard, because, you know, typical me is already assuming the worst. So I'm just hoping that the debut goes well, and that it is not something where they're kind of like featuring him for, you know, 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then it kind of just like nothing happens. I just don't want it to be the Cameron Grimes situation, you know. So I don't know, I'm excited because
I
I think he deserves
yeah.
this.
I see him being easily thrown into the Andrade Carmelo Hayes mix, where he could feud with either one of those two, and they could
Yeah.
even have way more backstage interactions. That's the type of screen time he's going to get.
And
You
he
know,
feuded with Mello when they were in NXT. That was one
oh
of
my God, it
the
was awesome.
yeah, that was one of the clips that
Few
I had
bright
sent
spots.
you. So
Yeah,
I don't know if they will, because they're both heels, but I mean, obviously we know that Triple H kind of doesn't
that doesn't
care
matter.
about that all the time. But if they are trying to establish Vinci in this role, then it might be more to put him against Andrade, which I'm fine with, because that would be a banger too. Like, I don't care.
Oh, that's good.
The potential is good, and I think that people are
Thank
going to
God.
realize it sooner rather than later. They're going to notice, and I'm hoping that they do, because we've seen people come around to acknowledging all that Kaiser can do. Now, like, even though he's still a bad guy, people are finally like, oh wait, no, like, he can actually hang in the ring, and he's really good on the mic, and he's not just a tag team wrestler. It's like, I want them to be able to see that with Vinci as well. So fingers crossed. That's what I'm just hoping for that. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I totally agree. I would like to see Vinci thrown into that mix, and even maybe an LA Knight rivalry for the US
Oh my
title would be
god.
kind of cool.
Had
I would
they
rock.
done that? I don't remember if they feuded.
I
It's
don't know if
possible,
they
but
feud in NXT.
they might
I
not have, because
would.
they would have both been heels, because I think LA Knight was a heel and he was in NXT.